Welcome back, Agile Buddies. Today we'll be discussing how to run sprint planning. Sprint planning initiates the sprint by laying out the work to be performed for the sprint. This resulting plan is created by the collaborative work of the entire team. So, the key players in this ceremony are the product owner, the scrum master, and the development team. This ceremony usually takes between 2 to 4 hours, depending on the length of the sprint. The shortest length of a sprint is 2 weeks, and the longest 4 weeks. I've heard of some teams and companies that use 3 week sprints, but personally, I've only used 2 week sprints, and our ceremony usually lasts longest have been 1 hour 30 minutes, nothing past that. The Scrum Master facilitates the meeting, ensuring that everyone understands the process and that the meeting stays on track. How to run your sprint planning. How do I personally run my sprint planning? Personally, I like to discuss capacity first. Capacity reflects the known realities that exist in a team. Let's take, for instance, you have 10 team members and you have an average velocity of 100 story points. So every sprint, your team completes 100 story points. Each team member completes 10 story points, and your team has been doing this over and over again, and you know that's the set velocity. But this time around, this sprint, your team members, you have a holiday. Let's say it's Labor Day, and the day before Labor Day is also a holiday. So all the team will be taking time off, like 2 days off. So that leaves us at 80% capacity. So your team was used to committing to 100 story points and 100% capacity, and they did great, right? But when they're taking time off, when everyone is taking time off for holiday, they're left with 80% capacity. So you cannot commit to 100 points when you have 80% capacity. You might want to bring it down to 80 points because the team is working 4 days instead of 5 days in a week, and we only have 10 days in a sprint. So they're working on a total of 8 days instead of 10 days. After you've discussed with your team members on who's gonna take time off, who is gonna go on vacation, you gather all of that information. You, the Scrum Master, you gather all of that information and add it to the capacity planner. I know Jira and ADO have that. Depending on what tools you have, just add it somewhere that it's visible to everybody. The product owner is the owner of the backlog. He tells the development team what needs to be worked on, and then they decide how it's going to be worked on. The product owner presents the highest priority items from the product backlog. He proposes how the product could increase value. He collaborates with the Scrum team to define the sprint goal that communicates why the sprint is valuable to the stakeholders. Then the development team would discuss each item on the product backlog. They would ask questions to the product owner to clarify any uncertainties or doubts that they may have so that they could better understand what they'll be working on. This conversation also promotes a shared understanding and added clarity to both the developer and the product owner. The development team then estimates the effort required for each item. This could be in terms of story points, hours, or any other unit of measure the team uses. This is a quick recap on estimation. Relative estimation, you estimate on the basis of complexity, effort, risk, and uncertainty. You're comparing your current story in the product backlog with a reference story that you've worked on before. So when the developers, let's say they worked on an upgrade, they were upgrading a functionality and they did it so well, they did it maybe in one day. Now they will use that work, that knowledge, and compare it to another piece of work. So it might take one day, it might take 2 days. It depends. But Having this reference story helps the developers estimate better. Now, based on the team's capacity and the estimates, the development team then decides how many of the items they can commit to completing in the upcoming sprint. This becomes the sprint backlog. The team also collaboratively develops a sprint goal, which is a high level summary of what the sprint should achieve. A confidence vote is now taken. Before the confidence vote is casted, the Scrum Master will encourage the team members to speak up if they are not comfortable with the amount of workload that they have going into the new sprint, so that if it's above them, they could pull some items out and give the team members each items that they'll be able to accomplish. To get more collaboration and more honesty from your team, I will encourage you to set up your polls in percentages, not just telling the team, are you sure you're going to complete your sprint goal, true or false? Those are pretty direct answers, and they're not really open ended, so you wouldn't really know what the team members are thinking. But if you put in like percentages, you say the first answer choice 25%, second answer choice 50%, third answer choice 75%, and the last 100%. So the least 25% is just telling you that they will not be able to meet that sprint goal, and 100% they're telling you they will be able to meet that sprint goal. So try to set up your polls in that order so that the team members, if they're not comfortable, you guys could talk about it and see why they're not comfortable. Well, this is the end of our session today. Thank you all so much. If I provided you value today, please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you and goodbye. Wait, don't leave yet. Check out my previous video, 6 things a Scrum Master must do when they get a new job. And the next one, how to become a Scrum Master with no experience. Bye.